If you think you need millions to start a business in Africa, think again. Right now, across the continent, ordinary people are becoming millionaires from businesses most of us ignore. Businesses that are dirty, smelly, exhausting, and yet incredibly profitable. These aren't fancy tech startups or clean office jobs. These are real practical hustles. Because while others are waiting for funding or chasing trends, some smart Africans are quietly building dirty empires and cashing in big. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll see opportunities in places you never thought to look. Now let's begin with one of the most overlooked industries: waste collection and recycling. In cities like Lagos, Nairobi, and Johannesburg, mountains of waste pile up every single day. Most people see garbage as a problem, but smart entrepreneurs see it as money just lying on the streets. A single waste collection truck in Lagos can earn as much as $100 to $300 per day, depending on contracts. In fact, some recycling hubs in Kenya are processing tons of plastic and turning them into paving bricks, which are in massive demand. Think about this. Trash is something cities will never run out of, and the people who take charge of waste are cashing in heavily. It's dirty, yes, but it's also clean money in the bank. Closely tied to waste is the business of scrap metals. Have you ever thought of this? All over Africa, old cars, broken down machines, and even collapsed buildings are sources of valuable metals like copper, aluminium, and steel. Scrap yards in Ghana, for example, can generate tens of thousands of dollars monthly simply by buying what people throw away and reselling to smelters or exporters. In 2022, Nigeria exported scrap metals worth over $500 million. And the crazy part is that this money didn't come from big corporations. It came from hustlers who knew how to buy, sort, and resell. Another dirty business that never stops is animal slaughter and meat supply. Now, I don't mean your small butcher shop on the corner. I'm talking about full-scale abattoir and meat distribution networks. Africa consumes over 10 million tons of meat every single year. And in places like South Africa and Nigeria, the demand only keeps rising with urbanization. The men and women who control abattoirs, transport trucks, and wholesale meat distribution often live in mansions, drive luxury cars, and yet their wealth comes from the bloody, smelly daily business of slaughter. It's not glamorous, but it's one of the most consistent ways to build wealth on the continent. Now let's shift into something you probably walk past every single day. That's drainage and sewage management. Most people gag just thinking about this, but companies that clean septic tanks and maintain urban drainage systems are raking in millions. In Lagos, it costs between 30 to 50,000 naira to pump one septic tank, and a company that services 10 houses daily can bring in over $10,000 per month. How about you multiply that across several cities and you start to see why sewage companies don't joke with their businesses? The workers may be covered in dirt and smell all day, but the owners are counting millions every single night. Then there's the charcoal and firewood trade, another dirty business that fuels millions of African homes. Even in this age of global warming, electricity, and gas, over 90 million African homes still rely completely on wood and charcoal for cooking. In Uganda, a single truckload of charcoal can fetch as much as $1,500, and entrepreneurs who control dozens of trucks are basically millionaires. It is dusty, hot, physically exhausting, but it's still one of the most in-demand businesses on the continent, and the demand never sleeps. Construction sand supply is another one people don't like to talk about. Every new building, every road, every bridge requires sand. The good thing about this business is that Africa is currently experiencing one of the biggest construction booms in its histories, with cities expanding at record pace. Sand suppliers in Kenya or Nigeria make thousands of dollars per day just from delivering sand to construction sites. One truckload on a good site can fetch you as much as $100, and a busy supplier with several trucks can easily clear $50,000 a month. But this business is messy, full of mud, and involves endless digging and trucking. It's no wonder people call it a dirty business. Speaking of construction, let's not forget cement distribution. Cement is dust, sweat, and back-breaking labor, but it has made billionaires on the continent like Abdul Samad Rabiu and Aliko Dangote. Across Africa, cement distributors and retailers move thousands of bags per week. In Nigeria alone, annual cement consumption is over 30 million metric tons. And those who sit in the supply chain between factories and local builders earn fortunes. Their warehouses are filled with dust, but their bank accounts are clean with money. Now let's look at poultry farming, specifically large-scale chicken and egg production. The smell of poultry farm is enough to drive away visitors, but the money inside is undeniable. Africa's poultry market is worth over $10 billion, that's annually. And the people who run large farms with 10,000 to 50,000 birds are millionaires in their own rights. Every single day, chicken and eggs are consumed in most African homes, and while it's messy to raise birds, clean cages, and deal with endless droppings, the reward is financial freedom, the type everyone will love. Another often overlooked dirty business is used clothing import and resale. Known as okrika in Nigeria or mitumba in Kenya, this industry thrives because millions of Africans prefer affordable second-hand clothes to expensive new ones. Importers who bring in massive containers of used clothing can make tens of thousands of dollars per shipment. Their warehouses may be smelly, dusty, and filled with old clothing, but the people behind the business are often quite millionaires. And finally, let's talk about motorbike and tricycle business. Whether you call them Okada, Boda Boda, or Keke Napep, these machines are not just moving people, they are moving money. It's sweaty, dusty, risky, and dangerous, but it has created more millionaires in Africa than most people realize. Entrepreneurs who own fleets of 50, 100, or even 500 motorbikes rent them out daily to riders who pay fixed returns. Do the maths. If one bike generates $5 to $10 daily, multiply that across the number of bikes one owns. You are looking at big money every single day from one of the dirtiest and roughest businesses on the continent. Now here's the truth. All these businesses, whether you are looking at waste or scrap metals, meat, sewage, charcoal, sand, cement, poultry, used clothing, or motorbike taxes, they all have one thing in common. They are not glamorous. They won't get you likes on Instagram or make you look fancy, but they are practical and always in demand. They are open to anyone who is willing to take the first step. Let it be that this is where you hear this first. Africa's new wave of millionaires are not just tech founders or oil moguls. Many of them are knee-deep in dirt, literally. And the question is, are you bold enough to get your hands dirty and take your share? If there is any dirty business that I've left out, please drop it in the comment box. And don't forget to like and subscribe as you work your way to wealth.